Going up at a UAR event yesterday, same thing. People are still selling tons of properties just because our inventories are down. Next thing, really quick, this is probably the meat of what I wanted to talk about. You please don't ignore your email. If you've changed your email, please let the office know, let your broker know. You will be getting a copy again of your ICA. We're going to ask you to sign your independent contractor agreement. Those of you who are on teams, we're going to have you sign a team ICA agreement. If you don't sign it, it's okay. We'll just do a 70-30 split with you. You won't get the 85-15. Cool? All right. Also, please look for your 1099s. Don't ignore them. If it says this is your tax stuff, please don't ignore that and don't share it. Don't send that to someone that will share that with the rest of the world that has your social on it. So just say it. If you are working on a seller financing transaction, would you please come talk to me first? Whether you're representing a buyer or a seller, please come talk to me first. We have a specific process that I'd like us to follow in this brokerage. Really quick, there are some folks that are running into problems with the time clause, especially on the list side. Had an agent, honestly can't remember who it was, almost sold a property twice. That's a problem. Don't put a property under contract with two buyers. Don't accept another offer until you can. And don't put out there. If you have any questions about using a time clause, if you have someone that has a contingent offer, I'm still of the opinion that if you have a house to sell, you're not yet a buyer. That's just an opinion. Just saying. All right. And last one, backup addendum. If you're on with the time clause, accept a backup addendum. Don't accept an offer and then say, oh yeah, I've got to go talk to the client in first position. That's going to be problematic for you. So anyway, just wanted to share that. That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, welcome to a new year. This is going to be a great conversation today, and we're going to start with introducing our 2024 ALC. Just for those who are unfamiliar with what the ALC is the Agent Leadership Council. Something that's so different from Keller Williams compared to a lot of other brokerages is that our agents directly influence the culture. And every month we spend 90 minutes in a room together deciding what trainings to put on the calendar, what events we should host, things to make this experience the best possible for the agents who are part of KW. And so I'm super excited to announce the lineup of ALC members for this year. These are all top agents in the brokerage that are willing to serve. This is not a paid role. This is something that they're contributing their time and attention to help make this place better for each of you. So go ahead and give them a hand. And ALC members, if you're here, come up to the front of the room. Give them a hand. And we're going to actually introduce each committee. The cool thing is you actually have the opportunity to participate and join in with these ALC members and join on the causes that you care about that are important to you. And so they're going to introduce their committee, what they're about, what their goals are for the year. And if this is something that you want to participate in, you can go ahead and reach out to this ALC member directly and connect with them afterwards about joining their committee. They hold a meeting once a month to talk about how we can make KW a better place. So go ahead and encourage you all to reach out for those who you'd like to connect with. We'll start, Viviana, ladies first. The chance to kick it off.
Yeah, we're a little separate.
Viviana Ruiz, and I'm a little bit nervous. No, I'm not. Okay. So the purpose of our committee, the committee that I'm in, is the Equity and Inclusion Committee, and the mission that we have within Keller Williams, and especially here at AW Westville, is to empower the community that we all deserve and have everyone belong into this community, Keller Williams here, especially Westville, like I mentioned. And we just want everyone to belong here, and everyone can thrive. And then, sorry, I'm just reading my notes. So we believe that with everyone's help within this community, our business can grow, and sharing the business here within, sharing the referrals, and have most of the transactions within us here in the community for everyone's better income all around. And if you're passionate about equity and inclusion, come and join me and everyone that's going to be joining me. We're going to be joining on every third Tuesday of the month at 9:30. Thank you.
Awesome. Susie, before you go, one thing I want to highlight, something awesome that Bibiana did for us last year is she actually put together a list, which you can find on our website, of agents that speak different languages in the office that are willing to support and help with clients that might speak a different language. Everything from Spanish to French to Portuguese. You guys have a whole lineup. So there's a spreadsheet on our website where if you need help with a different language, supporting a client at a higher level, they put that together. And I know on her roadmap this year to help get some of the documents translated into Spanish, speaking some of the REPC, things like that, where it might be a little hard for some people to really understand that when they don't read English perfectly. And so that's an awesome cause that you guys are contributing towards.
Yeah, thank you, Shoney, for bringing that up. And yeah, if there's anyone in here that speaks Spanish or any other language that still it's not part of that list, let me know so we can part of the resources in our website.
Thank you.
All right. If you're ever confused about who to talk to when it comes to events and culture, it's the Susies. Just Susie. Just come to one of the Susies. Okay, we are really excited about events and culture this year. Our committee is always over, like we'll do 2 events each year for your SOI. We've done Keller Splash over at Summit Splash, and then also Kellerween. And then the last year we started a new thing that was really Shoney's brilliant idea. It was the Real Estate Expo, and that's just another way for us to give value to you guys, where you can come and talk to all the vendors. And then we've done 2 years of the Builder Expo. So that's a few things that we've been in charge of. But this year, what we're really excited about is just kicking off ways to really give you opportunity to rub shoulders with each other. I think there's so much value when you show up to something that interests you, but getting to just let your hair down and be with other agents. So Susie kind of kicked off our bingo that we want to do. Pull out your calendars, because I'm going to just do a little teaser of a few things to come. We already met last week as our committee. Stand up if you're on our committee already so far for the year. Stand up. I know we've got more. Yes. Big round of applause for them already stepping up for this. And I do want to say, you're all welcome. If you have ideas of things you want to implement, we are going to meet the first Tuesday at 9 a.m. every single month. So we planned kind of half the year, and pull out your calendars. I just want to give a few little teasers. On February 2nd, we're going to do a little ski day for anyone that wants to go up to Sundance. We'll meet at the Sundance parking lot at 9 a.m. February, and we'll get you more details. February 12th, we're going to do yoga at 7 p.m. here. We're going to do a blood drive in April. We'll do our regular things. We're going to do a hiking day at Battle Creek to see the big flag that's up, and have Lane Thompson come and kind of lead that hike. So we have a lot going on. In June, when we have the Parade of Homes, we're talking about getting a bus and going half day to go drive around and see houses together. Susie, what do you want to add? Like, we've got a ton, but we'd love more committee members. So come up and talk to Susie afterwards, either of us.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything?
I don't think so.
This is a fun committee, and it's really, if you have a voice and things you want to see, we're not done planning. We're going to plan February, the very first Tuesday. We're going to plan the rest of the year, but we can always slip all sorts of extra things in, because we want to really rub shoulders this year.
So think that was awesome. I'm excited. Okay. I'm Courtney, and I'm over education. And basically what education is, we need a committee. So if you want to be on education, come talk to me. And what that is, we get to plan what kind of continuing education classes that we want for the office. So if there's a need, we need to know what you want to learn about so that we can put that on the schedule. That's it.
So Tana Bagley and my committee members are Cameron Hyatt and Jennifer Jorgensen, and we are on the KW Cares Committee. So I'm super excited to be doing this. This is all about service. It's about service within our community and also service here within our brokerage, KW Westfield. And so a couple of the things that we really want to do is to provide some education about what KW Cares is, what it does, how you can contribute, how you can serve. And then also just we need some committee members as well. We need to, things like Red Day. As a newer agent, I thought Red Day was like a Red Signs team thing. I didn't realize it was a KW Westfield. And KW Cares, like even just being on this committee for the last month, learning a little bit more how that works. So like when Mason passed away last year, KW Cares was ready with the funds in hand to help his family. And so just learning a little bit more about how that works, they keep those funds available so that they are ready. They don't have to wait for the donations to pour in after a tragedy happens. And it's for big things and it's for little things too, helping families. I know an agent shared when she was a new agent, a single mom, and nobody really knew her situation, and Novalee was able to walk a check in to her to help pay for Christmas for her family. So when it's KW Cares, it's KW, it's here locally with our branch. And you are able to, one of the things that we've talked about, we'll have some more information in the next couple of weeks. If we reach our goal as a market center, and every agent is giving a minimal donation from every closing, it's about $25 to $30 from every closing that can automatically go to KW Cares. That will keep that fund where it needs to be able to act on big and little emergencies and crises for families, medical expenses, funerals, Christmases, things like that. So I encourage you guys to watch for that information to come. We'll have more information soon, and we would love to have some more members on our committee as well. So an opportunity to serve, to put out some good there and be ready to receive some good.
One thing I want to share that, yes, get this in that hand. So one thing I'll just share is that KW Cares is at the heart of KW's culture. Like, this is why we do what we do. Money is good for the good it can do, right? And so one of the perspectives is that we have the opportunity to be able to show up during other people's hard times. And you never know if you're going to be the one on, the receiving end of that. And these are some photos from different things that we've done in support individuals, whether that be, agents within our office. We've obviously had, Mason passed away last year, and we were able to step in and help his family. And that's been an ongoing project that we were able to serve through efforts with Jake Bowers and the KW Cares Committee last year. Is we were able to actually serve and provide roughly $30,000 in donations towards his family. We also helped little Milo, and when he had a birth defect that really impaired his living experience, and so to step in and help for that. We raised roughly $25,000 during our casino night for that event. And then you have community contributions as well. So this one up in the right, we actually were able to package 1,200 Thanksgiving meals for families in need, for kids that were, we were able to do it at a school where we knew the kids had challenges in insecurities and able to support. So we show up in the community and locally within our office. And so this is a huge opportunity to be back. Nobly, I know you, or specific stories of things that we've used these funds for as well.
Infant funerals that we've been able to. Shoney just thinks it's funny to make me cry. I remember. Okay. Shoney just thinks it's funny if I cry. I remember we've covered infant funerals before. We've covered.
Doesn't like Noble.
It doesn't like it. See, it's it doesn't want me to cry. We've covered infant funerals. We've covered Christmases. We've covered medical expenses. We've covered meals. We've oh gosh, so many things over the years. But you know what? It's not It's if everybody helps a little bit, nobody has to help a lot. And if everybody just donates $25 on every closing, like we will always have enough money to help when somebody needs it. And I just encourage everybody to do that. It's surprising that we have less than half of the people in the market center that do that on a consistent basis. And it's really easy to just let me know that you want to do that. And I promise you will never miss that $25. If you have that set up to automatically come out of every closing, you won't miss that money. And it will really add up and we'll be able to continue to help those people when they need it. And I promise that as a leadership team, as a KW Westfield Cares team, we are very good stewards with that money and make sure that it goes to the right spot and people who really need it. And we'll take good care of it. So I encourage you to make sure that you sign up to be a consistent donor with on those commissions. And there's sign-up sheets are at the back of the room, or you can just come and tell me and I'll take care of it.
Okay, awesome. Well, my name is Mikkel Siebert, but huge shout out to Becca Summers the last few years for doing more club for Keller Williams Westfield. I know like the highlight of last year was Brandon Fugel's event. So we're really excited to kind of piggyback on a lot of the things that she's built. But specifically for 2024, we're really excited to really focus on the top 5% of our agents, and that's going to bleed down to all of us. So the top agents in our brokerage are going to have events curated to them, which means that no matter what, every other agent that's doing 3 million or more adjusted should have every reason to go and be there if the top 5% are helping curate these events. So if they're making time for it, the rest of us can make time for it. But specifically, I know Shoney mentioned More Club, 3 million adjusted. So if you're on a team, it's going to be your volume adjusted to your split. If you're solo, that 3 million mark is what makes you, I guess, be a part of the More Club for the year. But really, like the Utah City event's going to be awesome in January. We have a lot of other upcoming things for all areas of life, but a lot more just real estate development, real estate knowledge, more local market facts and market understanding that's going to help the top 10 agents in our office. That's going to bleed down to all of us that can learn so much from them. So we're really excited to rub shoulders with everybody here that's producing at a high level and get to know what other people are doing to produce more income.
Hey, I am, sorry. Take it, boss. All right, I'm Amber Burke, and I and Trent Rogers are over the solo agents this year. When I came over to KW 7 years ago, I had already been in real estate for 20 years, and a lot of the focus from KW is create a team. And I was like, I just am a brat. I don't want to. like I read the MREA, I read it and I was like, yeah, but I've been doing this for 20 plus years and I like how I do it. I'm a solo agent and I'm good with that. So we kind of created a little community. First, it was just under the radar, and now it's official within KW Westfield, where we support each other as solo agents. Teams kind of have built-in support. And just for an example, last month, we had Brian McKinnon, who's a solo agent, come in and teach us, workshop with us on how to create like a meaningful newsletter that goes out to your clients and how to make that work. So we all sat down with our computers and worked on it. And luckily for you guys, Trent has some great ideas because I've been in the business so long, I don't even know what I know. Like, you know what I mean? Like you forget what you know until someone asks you. So luckily for you, Trent has some good ideas. So
we probably don't need to go into a whole lot more detail than that, but we are excited about creating ways that we can go put things to work and implement things that we're learning to better our business. And so we're going to be focused on ways that we can create more value for our database and our community that we serve. And every week or every month, we're typically on the second Tuesday of the month, right after the team meeting here. So we'd invite all of you solo agents to come and be a part of it.
Cody Thorup, growth and retention. I will give a plug really quick though. There's some rock stars up here. I'm privileged to be on ALC this year. I also, as you noticed, everybody needs committee members, myself included. And so if you are an agent who feels like they're not involved enough, you're finding, wanting to get to know other agents, join one of these committees. Raise your hand, get involved. I think that's one of the ways to find opportunity in this business is to be involved. And so find yourself raising your hand, getting involved and joining one of these committees. My role with growth and retention this year is a lot around who is looking to grow their profit share, who wants to feel supported, have meaningful ways, resources to be able to do that. I don't know if we all realize, I didn't understand the power behind what that looks like to bring in a few people underneath you in Keller Williams. Shoney, what does that look like? If I was to recruit a capper, how does that help me to offset some of the cap that I have?
So that's the cool thing about KWs. Every month, profits are split 52-48. So, 52% goes to the ownership group, but 48% we actually pay back to all the agents within KW. And the nice thing is when you are focused on just serving other people and helping others be able to tap into all the value that KW has to offer, your cap can be reduced roughly $1,200 to $2,000. And so it's a significant contribution, especially when the market shifts back. Obviously, the more profitable we are, the more profit share you earn. And so historically, that has gone up to $3,000 per capping agent here at the brokerage. So it's a great way to be able to reduce your cost to be in business, but also help others be able to tap into a ton of value to grow their business.
Yep. There's a lot of resources. K-Score is one of the awesome opportunities. I've sent 2 people over to K-Score in like the last 2 weeks. That's education's paid for. So it gets them a bunch of training also outside of the 120 hours, because we all know that those 120 hours teach you how to real estate. And so getting them into K-Score will hopefully help them to hit the ground running in this industry. So that's an awesome opportunity. There's also a ton of resources with, if you have a great transaction and the agent on the other side is just awesome, being one of, if not the best brokerage and office, introduce them to Shoney, introduce them to somebody in the office, get a strategy session set up. There's a lot of resources that each of us can take advantage of when looking to build our profit share. So.
Yeah, echo what Cody said about being involved with the different committees and opportunities. We rely on you guys to help out. By the way, I'm Jake Bowers. I am helping with Vendor Alliance this year. I'm not going to be begging for money or to be on a team this year. I'm going to leave that to Cameron and Tana and who else? Jen. But all these committees are very much so intertwined with events and KW Cares and the Solo Club. Like they all do things together, and we want you to do that together with us. So as far as Vendor Alliance goes, I'm trying to bring value by bringing the best people that you can refer to your clients. So we want to make sure that we're vetting and having a preferred vendor list, I guess per se, for the brokerage. And so that will bring value to the vendors as well by exposing them to people who are high producers and people who are going to bring them business. So it's a symbiotic relationship where we can help both us and the vendors that we work with. So if you have a preferred vendor that you're like, Jake, we have to have more exposure to this person. They do an awesome job, whether it's, I think we're tapped out with cleaners and with insurance. What else? Anyway, photography. So there's other vendors that you want involved, then come let me know.
Awesome. Give them a hand. Thank you, ALC members. We appreciate you all. Awesome. So we're going to fly, given the timeline. I'm going to ask some pretty deep questions for the next 5-6 minutes. What I will say is don't be overwhelmed, but take these questions, go reflect on them, and probably set some time aside on your calendar for this weekend. And this is a process that can be massively impactful for not only your year, but also for your life and your career. And this actually came from a recent podcast, the MREA podcast, where it unfolded or uncovered 10 questions that Gary Keller asks himself going into a new year. How many of you have heard that episode? Okay. So we're going to break these questions down, and this is really some questions that you can reflect deeply on. And really, this is going back into that. We've talked about this concept, thinking time. Okay. One of the successful habits that sets ultra successful people apart is they have thinking time on their calendar. A lot of too often entrepreneurs are in this busy go, go, go mode, and they don't have time set aside to actually pause and reflect. And that can actually cause you to go slower long term. And so these 10 questions are powerful frameworks to really get thinking about what's important to you. Question number 1 is, who are you? And this is something where you want to start considering, what are your core values? Start thinking about this idea that you are not your name. Okay, oftentimes if I asked Susie, who are you? Or I ask a new person, who are you? They're going to introduce themselves by their name. But the reality is you are not your name. That name was actually something that was given to you at birth by somebody else, right? But through your experiences, through your journey in life, what's happened? Hey, Colby, guys, just for this time frame, if you guys want to have a conversation, if you can step out, don't mean to be rude, but just so I can have the room's attention. So the question of asking yourself, who are you? What do you actually care about? What do you believe? What's important to you is one of the most important keys that you should identify, right? Being clear about that. One of the other things is to understand, how do your life experiences shape who you are today? So actually start reflecting about some of those experiences that you've had and how they've impacted who you believe you are, okay? Question number 1. Question number 2 is, what do you believe? So this is starting to identify, what are your fundamental beliefs about your life, about how you do business, about how you want to show up for other people? Start considering how these beliefs influence your decisions. One of the realities is that the decisions you make on a weekly basis are actually influenced by what you believe. One of the other questions to think about in this frame is, are your current beliefs actually limiting you, or are they propelling you towards where you want to be? Okay. Oftentimes we can have limiting beliefs that actually stop us from being who we are meant to be. Question number 3 is, what motivates you? So do you know what drives you, and do you know what drives you and what drains you? You need to know both. So oftentimes if we look at our weekly habits, our monthly habits, you need to get clear about, what are the things that actually cause you to drain energy? What are some of the things that recharge you, that allow you to show up with your fullest capabilities? Understand what gets you out of bed in the morning. This is a big piece of this question, is what is actually the driving force? Is it the bills, or is it something bigger and beyond that? One of the other questions to think about is, are you actually chasing what truly fulfills you? Are you in pursuit of what really matters to you long term? This is a really big question to get clear about, especially in our space. How many of you have ever been working at 9 p.m. in this industry? How many of you have worked a Saturday or a Sunday before? Okay. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, why do you actually work so hard? Why do you do what most people are not willing to do? A lot of people subscribe to the 9 to 5 kind of mindset, right? Where it's, I'm going to clock in at 9, clock out at 5, and I'm done. But for some reason, you in real estate, I know we get into this for the freedom and flexibility that this industry provides, and then we realize that it's not always how it goes, right? Getting into this space. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, why do you work so hard? Are you working towards having a big year, or are you trying to create a beautiful career, right? What does that actually look like? What are you working for, right? What is this all in support of? And another piece of this is asking, does your why actually justify your effort and sacrifice? Okay. Is the why big enough that actually justifies the amount of sacrifice that you're putting in? Because you sacrifice your body, you sacrifice your time with family members, with friends, you sacrifice a lot. So getting clear about, why do you actually do what you do? One of the most important questions is actually identifying, when is enough enough? So you need to define your own version of success. A lot of times I get the chance to sit down with a lot of agents and ask what's important to them. What are they trying to aim for or shoot for? And the most common financial mark that I hear, you guys want to take a guess what number comes out? 100,000 is the target that most people want to earn. And then some people who are beyond that, it's the $1 million mark, right? And the reality is, oftentimes if I say, well, why that number? Typically don't have an answer for it. Well, I need to pay my bills, I need the car, the house, those things. But the reality is, oftentimes we've actually kind of attracted that goal by hearing other people aim for that target. And so one of the things that you have to define is, like, what is the actual number for you, for your lifestyle that you want to live, and get clear about that mark, that metric. Okay, so you know exactly what you're chasing and why it's important. Also recognizing the point at which you'll feel fulfilled. And this is not going to be a number. So this is where you have to start setting goals that are more about who you're becoming more than what you're attaining. Okay. Because there's oftentimes a lot of top performers that I'll sit down with, and they might be making $500,000 or $750,000 a year, but there's still something, a piece that's missing. So it's not actually the money that was missing. There's something else more that they're chasing. So getting clear about who do you want to become, which a few of these other questions will help with. And then also consider, are you chasing an endless horizon, right? Is it actually a goal that's attainable, or is it something that you can never get to, right? Which can cause some challenges, lack of fulfillment. Question number 6 is, what do you want to be in control of? Gary Keller's question or answer on this was interesting. He said what he wants to be in control of is time. He wants to have complete control of his time. So the question for you is, identify what aspects of your life do you want to be in control of? And also ask, is your time being spent or is it being invested? Two different, small tweaks in words, but it has all the difference. Question number 7 is, what do you fear? Right? What do you fear? Are your fears back, or are they pushing you forward? Are they something that actually motivates you and drives you to take action? Question number 8. We'll send all these slides out just so you know. If you can't, if I'm going a little too fast, I want to be respectful of your time. But question number 8 is, what regrets are you trying to avoid? What regrets are you trying to avoid? Identify potential future regrets. So there's a book called The 5 Regrets of Dying. And it was a nurse who interviewed people who were on their deathbed. And she did this for 3 to 6 months and identified, she would ask them specific questions. And essentially what she came up with was a list of the 5 most common regrets for people who are passing away. And the funny thing is, guess how many of them said that they wish they would have made more money? None of them, right? And so you actually want to get clear about, well, if you were 80 years old, you're in your rocking chair and you're looking back at your life, what are some of those things that you might regret? And how do you actually start taking action today to avoid that perspective, right? Number 9 is, how do you bring meaning to your life? So consider what makes your life fulfilling and purposeful. Reflect on how your work contributes to this meaning. What legacy do you want to leave behind? And another question is to identify, are you crafting a meaningful story within your life? Right? Start thinking about those things. And then question number 10 is, who are you in the end? And this one is, from my own perspective, probably one of the most powerful questions to ask yourself. Is there's kind of 2 ways of thinking about this. Is the difference between creating a resume and creating a eulogy, right, from how you take actions. And so if you're creating a resume, some of the things you might put on there is, I ran this marathon, right? Or I sold this many houses, or I made this much income, or I bought this many rental properties. I promise none of you are going to talk about that on your deathbed. None of you are going to talk about that to the people that you love when you're passing on. And they're not going to talk about it either. So you've got to start thinking about, what do you actually want people to talk about when you do pass on? And so some of those things that might be in your eulogy will be about who you were, right? What type of person that you were for everybody else. So start thinking about, well, what traits do I want to be known for? What qualities do I want to possess that will help other people? And how do I start setting goals that actually align with developing those traits or those skill sets? Jim Rohn, he talks about, the goal is not actually the goal, right? So the targets you set for the year, whether it's your financial targets or your health targets, whatever it may be, those aren't actually the goal. It's actually who you're becoming in pursuit of that goal. So oftentimes the financial target you're hitting, let's say it's $100,000, or maybe you're wanting to do something physically challenging. Usually you have to become a different person to attain that goal. And that should be the pursuit or the journey that you're subscribing to, is the qualities that you're going to possess on the other side of chasing that goal. Okay. So those are 10 questions that I promise can add a lot of perspective, and it actually changes how you do business. Okay, your clients are going to feel very different if all of these are guiding principles that change how you show up in the business space. Okay, if your goal is just to earn 100,000 so you can buy the new car and buy the house, they're going to fill that. Okay. And now if your goal is to, I'm going to serve these clients in a way that helps them live a better life, they're going to fill that. You can still make the money. The money is a byproduct, but where's your intention? Okay. So think about this as you step into the new year. I know a lot of you have set new targets, some new benchmarks that you'd like to hit. I would say just spend some time this weekend getting clear about who you are, what's important to you long term, and use this as kind of a guiding framework. One thing I'll send out as well with this, with the newsletter for the week is my reading list is kind of based around the skill sets I want to develop. And so what I'll do is I'll pick 5 to 6 different categories throughout the year that I really want to study and become a master of. And so these were my categories for this year and the specific books that I'm going to study to help support that journey. So that's one other side note that I'd recommend is kind of develop a growth plan. So what are the areas or skill sets that you want to develop in, whether that's relationship building, whether that's your love with your spouse, whether that's your business in real estate, whether that's, maybe content creation and social media. Start thinking about, well, what do you need to study to make sure at the end of the year, you've developed that skill set, okay? So I know we cruised through this for time, bless you, but we appreciate you all. We're going to have an awesome schedule for team meetings this year. So you want to be here 11 to 12 every Tuesday. We have some phenomenal guest speakers that are going to be here this year and looking forward to it. So have a wonderful day. See you guys.